Hi everyone, it's Monica and welcome back to Taylor-Made Cards for You. Well, today I'm excited to share with you a junk journal project by VectoriaDesigns, and they were kind enough to share the project kit with me, and I wanted to share it with you because it is releasing today. Now, if you've never used any of VectoriaDesigns project packs, they're wonderful. In fact, a lot of my inspiration came from them early on because I was a customer first before I started creating my digital images. So I get a lot of inspiration from this wonderful store, and they have lots of options and lots of great junk packs for you. And not only do they provide beautiful projects, but they also provide great teaching tutorials over on their YouTube channel. And I learned to create my junk journals based on their tutorials, so I would encourage you to definitely check them out, and I will leave links below for you to do that as well. Now, like I said, the Bugs Junk Journal is getting released today, and you're going to get some wonderful pieces to go along with this junk pack. And not only does she give you beautiful designs, but she also gives you instructions on how to create beautiful projects. So you can easily print out these project packs and use them as reference points for your crafting needs. So let me go ahead and show you what I created. It's such a beautiful piece, and I went ahead and I created a journal using their paper. And as I was creating it, this is a journal that I've made before. A lot of times when I make my journals, instead of actually putting the signatures inside of the journal, I create them with these little, they're not brads, but I guess rivets is what they're called. So you can easily pull your paper in and out, because a lot of times I don't know what I'm going to do with my junk journals. I may want to pull out my pages and decorate them a little bit more. And it's a little bit more difficult to do that once it's attached to the book. So as I was putting my book together, it occurred to me that you can easily put together just mini signatures, and then you can use them on their own if you didn't want to create a full-on junk journal. So let me go ahead and share with you some of these beautiful pages, and then I want to show you how to put together your own signature. Now, the back of the journal, the front and back of the journal, was created using some thicker chipboard, and then I covered it, and then I used some lace for my ties, and then I created 3 signatures, and I printed my paper front to back, so that way when you turn your journal, you're going to have some beautiful pages inside of your journal. Now, when you're printing your journal, you know, like I said, it does take a lot of ink, but there are ink savers in some of her project packs as well, if you didn't want to commit to the full-on print. And the paper that I use is thinner paper. It's not cardstock, so that way it's more like pages in a book. But as you can see, there's lots of areas to be able to write thoughts, decorate. It's just a beautiful paper pack, and I really, really like it. Now, the paper is so beautiful. This one's upside down. It's probably a good thing that I didn't sew this in place. But the paper is so beautiful. Not only could you use it for pages, but you can use it for journal covers as well. And that's what I wanted to share with you. So let me just go ahead and show you some of this beautiful paper. And any of these pages can be used for signature covers. So that's what I want to show you today. All right, so when I talk about a signature cover, basically it's just a book that you can easily put inside of a journal. And what I did is I printed out the paper, and I used a little bit more heavy cardstock than I did on the pages, because this is going to be a cover versus just a page. And then I ended up cutting just some plain old white printer paper, and this is some older paper that I found at the thrift store, so it looks a little bit aged, and I put it in here. So if you didn't want to necessarily have every page have a design, you can easily create just a little booklet. So when I'm creating my signatures, I'll typically cut my paper a little bit smaller than the actual journal cover, so that when you close it, your paper doesn't show through. And then when I'm lining up the paper to be able to do my signature stitching, I'll use these clips right here. And these are just plain old office clips that you can get, you know, at your local office store. And I use these so I can make sure that my paper is held in place when I'm actually sewing it. Okay. And then now that it's in place, you can see it's not going to go anywhere. All right, now the tools that I'm going to be using are this awl here, and this is so I can punch holes into my book. And then I have some bookbinding thread here that has some wax on it because it makes it a lot easier to go through the holes. And then I have this so that way I can use it for the back of my punching. And then I have these bigger needles as well. So the first thing we're going to want to do is figure out where we're going to put the holes. And typically I'll figure out my center, and then I'll figure out my top and my bottom. All right, so my page is 5. Looks like it's, I guess I should go the right way here. It's about 7 1/4. So 3 1/2, a little bit more than 3 1/2. So there's 3 1/2. So I'm going to just go somewhere around right there. And then I will just look for something right in the middle. And it doesn't have to be exact, y'all. It can just, you know, you can just estimate on this. So I'm going to put one there, and I'll put one there. And now that I have my markings, I can go ahead and punch my paper. So it's nothing magical about this. You're just punching your hole through. And you're going to do that on all 3 pieces. And as you can see, it's going right on the spine. And we'll do the last one here. And it goes through really easily. And then I'm going to take my needles, figure out which one would be best. Some of them are thicker than others, so you just want to make sure it's going to be a needle that will go through easily. And then we're going to figure out our paper, or our thread, I should say. All right. Now there's a lot of ways to thread a signature, and this is just one of the ways. I will typically start in the middle because I want to end in the middle, and I will just put my needle right through, and then come through here. And then I like it to be extra tight. Some people will go straight down here, but I like to have 2 individuals just to make sure my book will stay in place. All right. And then I'm gonna come to the bottom. It's a little bit easier when you're not filming. So that's just the struggle you're seeing, is just because I'm trying to stay underneath the camera. All right. And then my final will just be my tie right here. So I'll typically just go right underneath here. to create my tie. Give it a nice little tug. And I will normally double knot it. And that's really all there is to it. It's a very simple stitch, but it is going to make sure that your book is very sturdy. And then once you have it stitched, you can see that the book opens and closes really easily. And these can easily go right into your journals. And then that way you can not only have pages that are printed on both sides, you can also have some blank pages, just kind of like a diary. Now, what's nice about this also is you can, if you feel that your page is, you know, a little bit plain, you can easily embellish it as well. And the kit is going to give you some embellishments to work with, but you can also use some of your embellishments that you may have already in your stash. So I'm going to just go ahead and just add a couple of remnant rubs and some stickers and see if we can just decorate this up just a little bit. Okay, so if you've never used remnant rubs, they're pretty easy to use. Just gotta figure out what I want to use here, and I'm just going to use some numbers and maybe the bug, since it is a bugs journal. Let's see here. And you can also decorate your pages as well with stamps or stickers, you know, whatever you want. It's your junk journal. So you can decorate exactly the way that you want it. And every page can be a little different. It doesn't have to all be matchy. And that's where some of the extra embellishments come into play, because you can kind of put your own touch to it. So I'm going to just put a number here for no particular reason. And then I will put that right there. And I'm just adding a little bit of an embellishment to my signature book. Maybe I'll add a little butterfly. Again, just something to make it uniquely yours. And then I'm just looking for a little sticker or a saying. Every detail of their journey. Why not? And it's as simple as that. And now you have a nice little signature that you can use on its own as a little book, or of course you can add it to a bigger journal like this one here. So like I said, the Bugs junk journal kit is now available over at VectoriaDesigns, and I will leave a link to the shop so you can definitely check it out, as well as some of her other kits. And if you've never worked with her kits, I encourage you to check them out because they are beautifully done, and you can also create wonderful projects like this one here. So as always, I'll leave a list of everything that I used to create this, along with the links to VectoriaDesigns as well as my shop. And this journal will be available in the shop if you choose to purchase it. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the kit, and we'll see you again next time.